Welcome back to Project 94 for another Diecast review here on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at another 2023 NASCAR Diecast here in the month of December. This one here is going to be Kyle Busch and his 2023 Thorntons gas stations Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 number 8 for Richard Childress Racing. So this is a brand new sponsor for Kyle Busch. Of course, this car ran in the race with this car, if I can pull it out. Both of these cars are from the North Wilkesboro race weekend, so that's pretty cool that they're starting to release cars that ran in that race. And this is one of them. This is the Thorntons paint scheme. It's not a throwback of anything. It's a full-on new paint scheme for Kyle Busch. And I gotta say, it's pretty interesting to have a Thorntons diecast for a reason I will explain later. Here's the box, of course. Pretty cool to have another Kyle Busch car, and you know, I kind of got used to the fact that he's not in the 18 Mars Chocolate / Interstate Battery / Pedigree, you know, all those paints, the Joe Gibbs Racing era. You know, I kind of got used to it, so I'm kind of, you know, I'm not like too, as sad as I was at first, I'm not too terribly disappointed like I was at first about all of it. But as times have changed, these RCR paint schemes are really not bad. My only thing is that there's really a lot of them. Like, there's not one paint scheme that Kyle Busch is known for in the 8 era. I think the most iconic of all of them is the Lucas Oil Auto Club winning paint scheme, and maybe the Cheddar's car. The rest are like, yeah, they're good, but are they going to be the most memorable? Will this one be one of the more memorable paint schemes? Time to find out in this diecast review. Ow. So here's the diecast, brand new, out of the box. Another Kyle Busch car for 2023. And yes, he's not at Joe Gibbs Racing anymore, but man, we are getting plenty of diecasts for this driver here. And of course, this car is not any super bright day glow color, so the camera you should have a better viewing experience with today's video here. Pretty sharp looking car. I like the colors on it, the white, gray, and red, and of course you got some gradient hexagon circle patterns right there. Pretty nice, and it's on the hood as well, so there's solid texturing on this car, solid color choice, and just the overall arrangement of the colors and the designs on this paint scheme. Looks pretty cool. I gotta say, this is one of the cooler Kyle Busch cars. I definitely would get this. You got the number 8 right here. You have RCR, the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 in the front here. Wrapped pretty good. Not a bad decaling job. One of the better ones we've seen. Of course, you have Thorntons with the hood vents, which don't really cut it off all that bad, honestly. You have of course, the pattern right here. Of course, that's mainly more of a paint scheme thing. Of course, you're going to have, it looks like a hexagon, octagon. Is that a, no, that's a circle. Let me zoom in a little more. Kind of get closer. Looks a bit more round than any of those shapes, to be honest. So it's definitely a gray fading circular pattern right here. Very textured looking, very detailed. Of course, you got the gold Chevy logo with the Busch name on the banner. Of course, you have Sunoco, Goodyear and blue on the fenders, but the wheels themselves have the yellow. Goodyear's dark gray rims. Then, of course, you have a very skewed, messed up looking 75th anniversary logo for NASCAR. Man, it looks bad. I mean, not the worst, but it's definitely skewed. You can definitely tell that thing is not angled correctly. You have NASCAR salutes, number 8, Rowdy. You're going to have Chevrolet Lucas Oil. You have Sherwin-Williams PTC. No, we're not on the PTC mold. Don't worry. You have Cometic and KCMG. You have Oscar Uniforms, Cheddar Scratch Kitchen, Thorntons, huge and big, slanted on the side, perfectly fits the new number placement. Of course, 2 race winner stickers. You have Net Spend, Bet MGM somehow ended up on here without a base, and of course, McLaren Custom Grills. That's another very cool paint scheme that I really hope we get the diecast of, race version or not. That's a cool design. Of course, you got Chevrolet. Of course, you got Okuma, Thorntons, number 8, Camaro, and ZL1. You have Thorntons, Busch, Thorntons on the roof, and of course the number 8. And I don't know if it's me or if this is accurate or not. I have to look at more pictures of this thing. But there is sort of like an asphalt texture. Like, you could see, like, it has, like, dots. It almost looks like asphalt. Honestly, if that's accurate, I like the way that looks. It could just be like okay, the printer just made the color look extremely bad. But if that's actually asphalt, I like the way that looks. If that's what they were going for here, then I like it. It does look kind of cool. Because when you drive into a Thorntons gas station, of course, what are you driving on? Asphalt. And, of course, the parking lots. What are they on top of? Asphalt. Concrete. Kind of goes with it. Really does. But now for the main paint scheme. It's spray painted a white color. Doesn't look to be any special kind of white. It looks like a normal type of white. And I don't know if I'm just noticing this. It's my bare eyes. You're probably not going to see it on camera. It looks like there's a slight metallic speckle. Just as I said it, I didn't think it was a special white. There could be something on here. Because I'm looking at it with my bare eyes. I don't know if my eyes are just playing around with me. But it looks like some sort of speckle. Very subtle. Very hard to see. But you may notice it. Anyways. Got the number 8 with a black outline, a thin red outline, and a white number fill-in with chrome accents on the new style number 8 for Kyle Busch in the RCR era. Looks to be the same on all sides except the back. That's actually going to be looks like a black or dark red outline with the dark red number fill-in. The subtle white outline. Of course, got the biofuel logo, black splitter, black roof rails, and black splitter, spoiler, roof rails. I almost said roof railers for a second. What am I doing? Time for the paint scheme itself. The main design, of course, once again, just like the 43 car from earlier, it's going to have slanted front stripes right there to make it look mean and aggressive underneath the OEM details. Around the OEM details, you're going to have a thin red stripe that goes over that asphalt gray color stripe, and then you're going to have a bit more red underneath. And it's going to wrap past the wheel well, then it's going to wrap way past here towards where the front number is. And you're going to have a thin red outline, which continued from over here. It's going to make its way into the driver's seat right here. Of course, you're going to see some of the gray because there's a bit of a triangle spike right there, which continues from over here. Then you're going to have the little spike right here, a little triangle. Then of course, it's going to be spaced out for another big stripe to come through here and leave a bit of a gap. And then some of the gray, it's going to slant right here. So this whole behind the number 8, most of it, because you still got the red designs. And I have the gray right here, and you can see it's angled off, which is pretty sleek. And it's going to cut sort of into the actual red right here. It's going to pretty much stream its way through there like a water stream. It just flows into that. And then, of course, you got the red. That's just the best analogy I can come up with there for that. But, of course, you got the red behind it. Looks pretty cool. I like the way it looks. That's a pretty solid design. You got the gray slowly making its way onto the paint scheme. Not rushing things. Not just putting a whole bunch of it at once and just cluttering the paint scheme. So, solid design choice, especially because they wanted most of the car white. Then, of course, that circle pattern is going to come back right here, right where the paint scheme angled off. And of course got the gray, the same gray fading into white circle pattern right by the Thorntons logo, which I am really a big fan of the way they placed this logo. It's big, it's long, and it's red, and it's big enough to just satisfy your eyes when you look at it. It's just satisfying to see most of it covered up instead of a tiny logo here and all this white. And, of course, the red is going to continue onto the back bumper, wraps around, takes the bumper shape perfectly, and leaves all this up here white. Deck lid is all white. Now it's time for the roof parts. So, past the rear quarter window, you can see that bit of a stripe, which was cut off right here, continues up to here, up to the B-pillar. Then you have the asphalt gray stripe right here. And then it's going to have sort of a slant, so you can still have some of the white showing. Not bad. And, of course, the top of it is going to have the dark gray asphalt style looking textured gray. And that's the paint scheme. I got to say, this is a very cool car. The only thing is that, and this is not Lionel or Richard Childress' fault, this sponsor is going to give me pretty bad flashbacks as a gamer. If you guys don't already know, if you haven't watched, there was some guy on YouTube that was reviewing like some sort of like unlicensed street racing, Need for Speed type of game where you're outrunning cops. I mean, it was called like Hot Wired. That was the game's name, right? Hot Wired. And there were multiple copies of that exact same game, literally the same game with a couple of different names on it. And one of them was called Thorntons All Night Racing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was the name of the game, and man, were they terrible games, glitchy games. And it was literally sponsored by this gas station, Thorntons. That right there, guys, is got to be one of the darkest secrets about this sponsor. And to see it on a NASCAR, I don't know if I don't know whether it's a laugh or cry, because that is definitely going to be something I remember with Thorntons gas stations. And it literally shows the clip of the cars driving through the Thorntons gas station and then leaving out to go on a heist. It's pretty intense, that game, as bad as it is. That's what that game was about. It was hot wiring cars and going on police chases on freeways around the country, around the states. So, time for the 360 view and the close-ups. This paint scheme is a good-looking car, nonetheless. I'm glad they left all that all-night racing branding off of it, because that game is long gone. You're never going to hear about it ever again, most likely, unless you watch that video. I can even link the review of that game, of how bad it was, because it is a thing that exists. I guess that adds some lore to this sponsor. So we got some lore in this Thorntons gas station's lore in this Kyle Busch Diecast review, which I never thought I would be spewing those words once in my life. But yeah, guys, that has been the review of Kyle Busch's 2023 Thorntons Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 for Richard Childress Racing. Pretty cool paint scheme, guys. I really highly recommend getting this one. You don't have to get it if you don't want it, obviously. You do what you want with your money, but if you're a Kyle Busch collector and you're looking for some obscure paint schemes, this is one to get right here. This is a really cool paint scheme. It honestly has Tyler Reddick vibes on it, because I kind of imagine Tyler driving something like this more than Kyle Busch. But you know what? This is Kyle Busch's car nowadays, and I gotta say the paint scheme of it is pretty spectacular. So, thank you all for checking out this Diecast review. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next Diecast review. And the month of December is full of content, so please stay tuned. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.